From bizarre souvenirs to illegal contraband, airport customs agents have seen it all. In this video, we count down the 35 most disturbing things confiscated at airport customs, revealing the dark side of international travel. Let's dive in. After a stop at the security checkpoint, the customs officer asked the passenger to reveal what he was hiding. What they found after they searched stunned them. The young man is asked by the customs officers to unpack his bag. He takes each item out slowly as the officers watch. They urge him to be faster. What could he be hiding?
Euro pound
One of the officers unzips the inner covering of the luggage to search properly. It seems there's nothing in the bag, but the officers keep digging around. He pulls apart the innermost covering, revealing wads of carefully stashed 50-pound notes. A chilling sight, as the customs found a mysterious thing moving in an unexpected luggage. At the airport, a piece of luggage owned by this young man passes through a security check. The customs officer discovers something is wrong with the luggage. He pulls it out for inspection. Unzipping the bag, he pulls out two suspicious red bags. Something moves in the bag, alerting the officer. He opens the bag and its covering. After pulling it apart, he sees some rare species of lizards, identified as a bobtail lizard. The lizards, 13 in total, were going to be smuggled out of Perth. It took a lot of effort to find what was hidden, but when the officer did, he knew he'd just scratched the surface. The officer pulls apart a seemingly innocent package that he had confiscated. He suspects something is hidden in it. There's a mysterious casing in the package that he expertly opens. He seems to be familiar with this unlocking mechanism. He opens the casing and takes the hidden package out. A large amount of raw gold was hidden in the casing, which would have been smuggled into the country in a diplomatic bag. The passengers have just gone through the scanner, but the officers couldn't help but notice the strangest thing hidden inside one of the passengers.
The passenger is from Africa, and the type of shadows in her body gives Hassan a clue to what it might be.
I suspect it's smuggling diamonds, because we have many cases before.
During a security check, the woman passes through an X-ray scanner. The officer notices something mysterious on her body, caught by the scanner. They call her in for questioning.
As you can see, it's looked like lovely stones, but it is really diamond. It's been not cut and polished.
He's right.
The woman cooperates with the officers and goes to the women's bathroom to take out what she's hiding. 5 mysterious packs are presented to the officer in charge. He cuts the pack open and sees rough-cut, unrefined diamonds. She was going to smuggle them into the country with any document, which is a crime. Whatever the customs officers planned, meeting this passenger wasn't one of them. What is the nature of the things he's hiding?
Hassan can't quite believe what he's hearing.
At a security check stop in a Dubai airport, the customs officers inspect the luggage of a suspicious young man. They ask him about the strange tools in his bag. He tells them boldly that he is a contractual killer. The officers are stunned, not believing he'd out himself that way. He clarifies that he truly is a hired killer. He demonstrates to the officers that a tool in his bag can be used to choke someone to death. The slippers look great. What would be greater if they were open? What the officer found was beyond his imagination. This Mumbai customs officer suspects that this pair of female slippers might be hiding something. He begins to take it apart. He tries the top of the slippers and finds nothing. Then he takes apart the back, getting closer to the truth.
पकड़ के रखा ना उसको।
हाँ, वो लड़की लंबा जाएगी और लड़का भी उसके साथ में था।
अच्छा, वो दोनों साथ में ही थे।
उसके जूते सर उतरवाए हैं या नहीं उतरवाए?
हाँ, देखो उस जाके।
He finds 3 bars of fine gold hidden in the back of the slippers. He checks the second one and finds the same thing. The amount of fine gold totals 6 that would have been smuggled into the country easily. After a thorough inspection, there was one place left to check on the suspect. What the officers found couldn't be named. In this security room, the officers ask the suspect to strip so they can search him. They go through his shoes and trousers to find whatever he might be hiding. All that's left is his innerwear. He wears 4 briefs that the officer pulls down for him. He hides a large stash of hard drugs around his groin. When he takes them off, it seems that's all of it. The cops would have missed this if they didn't probe deeper. This children's candy almost blinds the officers to the truth passing their gaze. What could the candies be hiding? The customs officer opens a children's candy pack. He spills the contents out, showing it's just candy wraps. However, that's not their goal. He tears the cardboard packaging and hands a piece to his colleague. Something is hidden inside the cardboard. They pry the cardboard open and reveal thin sheets of pure, refined gold. The gold was carefully packaged and hidden in the cardboard. They add the gold to the pile they've already discovered. This passenger's bag was a well of endless mysteries as the item pulled out by the officers' astounded viewers. The bag being pulled apart was seized from a suspicious young man. The officers are pulling apart the bag to find whatever is hidden inside. The effort is demanding, but they persist as their hands come in contact with something. They begin pulling out wads of $100 notes from the bag. Each time they bring out cash, the amount seems to be bigger. Their table is now full of smuggled dollars. Whoever did this might either be laundering the money or might have stolen it. Love might be blind, but is it strong enough to blind the customs officers? As the officers checked, they couldn't help but doubt the love as the lies grew.
These are your bags over here?
Yes.
You packed everything yourselves?
Yes.
Everything belongs to you?
Yes.
All right. Did you guys bring anything from out there, new purchases that you're bringing back into the country right now?
This suspicious couple is stopped at the security check by the officers. The officer asks them if the luggage is theirs and whether they have any new purchases they're bringing into the country. The husband confirms this, noting that they're bringing in only clothes. The officers then open the bags to check.
What's this?
It's my jewelry.
This new? Ma'am, these have tags on them. They're not used.
No.
These are new.
Not that one.
Listen.
When checking the bag, the officers see not just clothing, but gold jewelry. The couple had not disclosed this to the officers. The wife claims that the jewelry is hers, yet the jewelry still has tags on them. They lied and failed to declare their luggage to evade taxes. The jewelry is worth $2,000 apiece. The jewelry is seized and they'll pay penalty fees. Looks can be deceiving. This security check went in all the wrong ways.
South Terminal. Sniffer dog Badger is examining baggage arriving from the Caribbean. Customs dogs are possibly the most powerful tool in the fight against drugs, and all have...
While the luggage is going through the security check, the trained dog smells something suspicious on one of the luggage. This alerts the officers who mark the luggage. They wait for the owner to claim the luggage. The owner does, and they lead her aside for questions and to search her luggage.
So that's probably what we're looking for. I'll quickly go and do this, quickly go and spike it, just make sure.
She unlocks her bag and the officer begins searching it. The officer finds nothing in the clothes taken out of the luggage. He puts the bag through an X-ray machine. Something is hidden in the bag casing. Using a pick, the officer scraps some white powder from the bag. They test it, showing it's cocaine. 1 minute you're managing the reception office, the next you're seeing some of the horrors of the world in HD.
Hello, Mel speaking. Hold on a second, what do you mean live snakes? Where? In her checked-in baggage?
The head customs officer is informed that suspicious luggage has been detected by the X-ray machine. She goes to check it, not believing what they told her. At the X-ray station, she sees large live snakes with several eggs in the luggage.
Although the passenger is suggesting that she tried to help another passenger with excess baggage, ultimately...
The officer goes to check the other luggage of the suspect. They find several boxes with little monkeys and kittens hidden in them. Seems the animals were prepared to feed the snakes when they were hungry. The animals are confiscated because they haven't been declared nor certified for transport. A diaper and bullets, an unlikely combination that will make you freeze in place at how they were found.
Officers at LaGuardia Airport in New York found 17 bullets hidden inside a disposable diaper. The Arkansas man carrying the otherwise clean diaper.
After searching the man's bag, the officers discover a clean disposable diaper. They check it, uncovering several 9mm bullets. The man denies packing the bullet. He later blames his girlfriend for packing it into his bag. The customs officers charge him with unlawful possession of ammo. You could never imagine what this passenger hid in their luggage that sent the customs officers shivering in fear. Customs officers find live snakes hidden in plastic containers from a woman's luggage. She landed in Chennai, India, coming from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. The footage shows that the snakes are of several different species that can put passengers at risk if they escape. After a thorough examination, the officers found 22 live snakes and a chameleon that were going to be smuggled into the country. The officers kept digging deeper into the luggage till they found something. What could it be?
The passenger told immigration he has no money, will be staying in Britain for 2 months, and a friend has agreed to pay all his expenses. It's a story Mike has heard many times before from drug couriers.
The customs officer notices suspicious luggage under the X-ray that he wants to examine. He suspects a smuggling operation at work. The suspect tells the officers he has no money and his friend has been taking care of him. Undeterred, the officers open the inner covering of the luggage.
So I've conducted a test on the bottom of your suitcase, which has shown a white paste. A white paste. Yep, I've conducted a test on it which says it's cocaine.
The hidden object is well hidden and sealed into the casing of the luggage. The officer digs deeper and sees a white substance that he suspects is cocaine. After running a test, the substance comes out to be cocaine. The man is arrested for smuggling. Be careful about what invites you get. These invites have spelled doom for the passengers. The Indian customs officers take apart some wedding invitation packets from a suspect's luggage. On the surface, it seems to be just a regular wedding invite, lavishly decorated. Yet they know what they are looking for is deeply hidden. They tear open the paper wrapping around the cardboard, piece by piece. They find a large white substance in a sealed plastic bag. They suspect it to be cocaine. They check the other wing of the cardboard and find another cocaine stash. This pair of slippers conceal more than they reveal on the surface. How would the officers treat this? Bangalore customs officers inspect the back of some slippers they suspect to be concealing something. The suspect is a passenger who arrived in Bengaluru from Bangkok. He was stopped after the slippers weighed far more than they should have. After opening the back of the slippers, they find gold bars hidden inside them. They weigh the smuggled gold, weighing 1.2 kilogram, and confirm its authenticity. The horrible smell hooked the officer before seeing what was in the terrifying package. What's hidden may just end it all for them.
Inside the man's suitcase is a small cool box.
Le he preguntado y me ha dicho que trae aquí mercancía congelada.
The passenger was stopped by the customs officer when he saw that the passenger had a lot of luggage. Many of the luggage have not been inspected yet. The officer opens one of the luggage and pulls out a mini cooler. The passenger says he kept frozen food in it. They open the cooler and pull out sealed plastic bags of meat and vegetables. The smell of the rotting meat chokes the officer.
Me está dando un asco tremendo. No hay gusano. ¿Que no? ¿Y esto qué es? Es imposible, hay gusano. No, esa parte de... ¿Esto qué es, caballero? ¿Esto no es un gusano?
It certainly looks like one.
The office checks the other luggage and discovers bags of frozen fish. Although dried fish is allowed, Barcelona does not allow frozen fish as it's easy to be contaminated. In the sealed bags with the fish, the officer spots maggots in the fish. Some have managed to escape the sealed plastic bags. Air hostesses might be angelic, but the customs officers are not fooled. Something fishy was going on. Could they find out what?
$सारे डॉलर्स हैं कि वो और करेंसी भी.
The air hostess of a New Delhi-Hong Kong flight is stopped and interrogated by customs officers on the plane. She cooperates with them by giving them her name. They check her suitcase and find several wads of foreign currency wrapped in tin foil.
आपका बैग किधर है मैडम? बैग अपना बैग ले आना जरा. आपके पास भी है? क्या? नहीं बैग तो है. बैग ही पूछ रहा मैं.
The inspection goes on, and the officer arranges the money in plain view. Although the hostess cooperated with the customs officer, she still smuggled foreign currency into the country. The officer thought it was just a routine check, but they saw something new and worrying. The Dubai customs officer had weighed the package and noted that whatever was in the box must be wrong. The object is hidden in an Apple device package, probably to throw the officers off their inspection. The officer opens the package and finds a considerable amount of cocaine hidden in it.
Nobody touch any bag, okay?
The officer checks the second phone case and finds a similar drug hidden in it. Appearances don't match reality. What the customs found could hardly be calculated. The customs officer had stopped a suspicious passenger after weighing an unbelievably heavy object in a small suitcase. After a thorough inspection, they found several refined gold bars. They are 22-karat gold that weigh about 30 kilogram. A couple of men were passing through the customs checkpoint, but something sinister was at play. Could the officers find out quickly? After he was stopped by the customs officers, they checked his luggage and found nothing. The object is actually hidden on him. Uncovering the wig he is wearing, he brings out a small wrapped package and presents it to the officer. It is gold he is hiding under his wig. The officer then checks his accomplice's head. He's also wearing a wig glued to his head. The officer retrieves another smuggled gold. The 3 pieces of raw gold obtained from the men are displayed. This appears to be a large smuggling ring. The officers also discover cash hidden under their wigs and more hidden inside their socks. A customs officer thought it was going to be a simple search, but when he got close to the passenger, he got the shock of his life.
Here's the moment customs officials at an airport in Shanghai uncovered 121 endangered snakes stuffed into a suitcase. The snakes belonged to a particularly slippery smuggler who claimed they were just toy snakes when officers asked to look inside his...
A passenger at a Shanghai airport puts his luggage into the X-ray scanner. The luggage gets flagged and the officers order him to unpack his bags for a search. While searching, an officer picks up a plastic container and sees something shocking in it. He drops it in shock. The officers take a closer look at the plastic containers found in his luggage. They uncover 121 endangered snake species.
Stuffed into black stockings and packed away in 21 plastic boxes. The snakes have been identified as endangered ball pythons, so called because they curl into balls when frightened.
These are ball pythons that have become endangered. The police discovered that the passenger smuggled the snakes to Hong Kong from Seattle by air cargo. Later, the trafficker picked the snakes to Shanghai, hoping to smuggle them elsewhere. Something never added up about the passenger. Maybe his height or something else that spooked the customs officers.
Please open your shoe.
This man was stopped after the customs officer saw him walking funny in the airport. They ask him to take off his shoes. He stalls, slowly dislodging his legs from the shoes.
Okay. Okay. Then you keep this one here. You keep this.
He takes his feet out of his shoes and stands aside. The officers take the shoes and find 4 bars of unrefined gold bars in them. The officers thought she had beautiful hair, but underneath that beauty hid horrors. What happened next was horrifying. This South African woman has been caught trying to smuggle drugs into Thailand. She is seated as they present the drugs they got from her dreadlocks. The drugs had been tied into her locks, which would have been effective in escaping the customs, but the X-ray scanner caught her. They cut off some of her locks to get the cocaine. The cocaine found on her weighed 1.5 kilogram.
แล้วก็มาต่อกับเส้นผม
มาต่อกับเส้นผมจริงนะครับก็จะทำลักษณะแบบนี้พอเรานั่นออกมาต้องเปิดไหมผมนี่ออกมาก็จะเจอลักษณะแบบนี้ ครั้งนี้ที่พบเป็นอะไรคะท่านโอเคครับ
The officer demonstrates how she hid the drugs in her hair. The way it was hidden is smart, but it seems they were giveaways that alerted the officers. They untwist her locks to get the remaining drugs, which they then lay out in front of reporters. Disgusting act as a father uses his child to carry on for some sick work. The officer couldn't believe her eyes. The man is stopped by the officer after the X-ray scanner picks up something strange. The bag is the man's child carry-on. The officer unpacks the bag and pulls out incriminating objects packaged in a transparent bag. A dildo and lube are what he's hiding in there. The officer is stunned at the revelation. The passenger is embarrassed, and his friends also laugh at him. The old woman looked like a friendly neighbor next door, but that still didn't stop her from her disturbing actions.
You want to keep your tobacco, but Nikki suspects she's carrying it as part of an organised backy bus.
Some of these are for some of your family?
Yeah.
Okay. And how much money have they given you towards their contribution?
The woman is called in by the customs officer. They go through her luggage, seeing several packs of what seem to be tea leaves. The officer asks her who they are for. She replies they are for her family. The officer also asks her if there are any drugs of any sort in the packages. She denies this.
She's done nothing wrong.
It's over. We're not doing no drugs or nothing, you know what I mean? You should be looking after waste you know, I'm not a criminal, but you should be looking more to criminals, shouldn't they?
Foundation passport's back. She has been stopped by customs before, even though she claims that she hadn't. I was not happy in my own mind to let her proceed with the goods.
The officer asks her if she wants an interview, but the passenger refuses. She chooses to abandon the package. The officer returns her visa and she leaves. The package is confiscated. Something suspicious must be in the package for her to abandon. The couple seem to be on their way to a lovely getaway, but the officers find out that's not true. Things took a dark turn when they were searched.
Turn it on for me if you got the back.
Officers at Gatwick have recently found drugs hidden in laptops, and this one looks highly suspicious.
Well, if it goes through the X-ray, we don't need to put it apart, do we? We're just having a look at it because it's got tape all over it, which isn't usual. Sorry? It's got tape all over it. Yeah.
The passengers are stopped. They seem to be a couple. The officer puts his laptop through the scanner. The laptop has tape all over it. The woman tells the cops that it's meant to hold the laptop together. The laptop is clear and returned to them. The officers continue their search.
They now need to look again to find out where the cocaine trace may have come from.
That comes from. There you go. Basically, what we did there was a swab of your bag, and it came up with a hit of heroin, cocaine. Have you used any cocaine?
The officers make a swab of the couple's bag. They confirmed they found traces of cocaine. They take the laptop back. The officer finds a sealed plastic-wrapped package in their luggage. The couple are now worried. The woman explained that someone had taken their bags at the airport. The husband tells the officer they already had a customs check at the airport. Ignoring them, the officer takes the plastic wrap to a different space and finds the source of the cocaine trace. The customs officer couldn't believe his eyes as plates broke out of horrors that were about to enter the country.
Yeah.
Smugglers try bringing in plates via air transport. The customs officer inspects the plates. The plate is heavier than normal and has something stuck in it. He breaks the back of the plate and pulls out a bag of cocaine sealed into the plate. The officer breaks apart the back of another plate and finds the same stash of cocaine in it. The passenger looked like a friendly person, but his luggage still sent chills down the officer's back. This footage shows the disturbing sight.
Trae aproximadamente 4 bultos y por lo que vemos en el escáner viene casi todo comida que vamos a intentar.
The passenger puts his luggage in the conveyor belt so it can go through the security check. The scanner shows that what's in the bag is primarily food. The officer sees something he doesn't recognize. He decides to carry out a physical inspection. When the passenger carries his luggage for inspection, blood drips out of it on the floor. He opens the luggage and a bloody sight is captured. It seems to be raw meat that he is trying to smuggle into the country. The passenger identifies them as shellfish. They've exploded in the luggage, spilling blood on everything. The passenger's pregnancy seemed to be at risk up until she was searched. It seemed straight out of a movie. Watch. The customs officer puts the woman against the wall to inspect her. She appears to be pregnant, but she is not. She is using a baby bump to hide something. The officer takes off the baby bump and begins to take out the cocaine hidden in it. The officer displays the baby bump and drugs weighing 2 kilos to the camera. This footage will astound you. The passenger's luggage moved and produced ominous sounds. What manner of thing was in the bag? Customs officers had seized a luggage that was making strange sounds. To their surprise, they found dangerous snakes. The passenger is trafficking venomous and prohibited exotic snakes into the state of Georgia. The snakes are huge and deadly. Professionals handle the snakes and check their state to make sure they are fine. The dog found something and it couldn't understand. When the officers checked, they couldn't believe what they saw. Border Customs stop a suspicious lorry on the road. They use a sniffer dog to discover the presence of humans in the lorry. They get the dog into the back of the lorry to find where the human scent is coming from. The dog finds no one. The dog finds something hidden underneath another trailer. The officers come to check things out. There is someone under the trailer, hiding in between wooden pallets. The person comes out, looking haggard. More people are gotten from under the vehicle. The passenger seemed innocent at first glance. When his luggage was searched, the officer couldn't help but look at him differently. A passenger is intercepted at the Lagos airport on his way to Dubai. His possessions are also confiscated to be searched. The officer has taken out the object in the luggage, but he can still feel something lodged inside the hard casing of the bag. He cuts open the back of the bag, where something is hidden. He pulls out a sealed package from the back of the bag. Then, he cuts open the seal of the package, revealing the cocaine hidden inside it. The cocaine weighs 1.5 kilogram. Money makes the world go around, but in this case, the world stops. How could the officers have predicted this? The customs officer stops a passenger with a family. They suspect he might be smuggling something. On searching his bags, they find several dollar bills. They count it all, and it amounts to $15,000 cash in his bags. He is trying to smuggle that amount of cash from Thailand to Bangladesh without going through the appropriate endorsement.